Hey everyone, welcome to History. So we've been talking about Julius Caesar and how powerful he was. In fact, he became so powerful that he wanted to be king, right? He wanted to be in charge of everyone and everything in Rome. And of course, people didn't like that. They were scared of him, and they didn't want anyone to have that much power. And so poor Caesar, his life was ended by his friends because they didn't want him to get so powerful. Well, before Julius Caesar died, he decided that he wanted to have an heir. An heir is usually your son takes your place. And that usually only happened with kings, right? Kings and queens. When the king died, the son, the prince, would take over and become the next king. And that's what Julius Caesar had wanted. He wanted his heir to take over. Now, he didn't have a son, apparently, so he adopted his nephew. And his nephew's name was Octavian. And Octavian was only 19 years old when his uncle passed away, and then he was to become the next consul, like his uncle. Well, the Senate didn't like that. They thought he was too young. 19 was way too young to do that. They also thought, well, he's a lot like his uncle, very arrogant and wants power. So maybe we shouldn't do that. But Octavian, when his uncle died, threw a party in his uncle's honor. He threw a party, a 10-day party, where he invited all of Rome to come, and excuse me, all of Rome to come, and he gave presents to everyone, especially the poor people. He gave presents to everyone, and he paid for them to eat and to drink and to just have fun for 10 days in honor of his uncle. And after that happened, how do you think the people, just the citizens, felt about him? Well, they loved him, right? They thought he was amazing, that he would spend his money that he inherited from his uncle on them. And so the common people, the citizens, wanted him to be king, right? They wanted him to be in charge completely. They thought he was amazing and awesome. And so the Senate, they were going to just not allow him to be, but now the people loved him so much that they allowed him to be on the consul, to be kind of in charge. And so Octavian was a lot like his uncle. He liked to go and conquer other places, and he had a great army just like his uncle. And so he took his army out and he conquered all these lands and for Rome. So Rome was growing bigger and bigger and stronger. And once Octavian had all this land for Rome, everyone was peaceful. No one was trying to fight them. Octavian went to the Senate and he said, okay, I did what I wanted to do. I made Rome big. I made it peaceful. I'm done. I'm just going to step down, because Octavian had known about Cincinnatus. Remember Cincinnatus, the guy who was a consul and wanted to be the gardener, so he just quit his job and went to garden. Remember that? Well, Octavian wanted to be like him. He wanted to just, he could retire once he did what he did, and the people still loved him, so he wanted to retire right when he was, as he was still loved by everyone. Well, the people said, no, we need you. You have done so much for Rome, and you make such great decisions, and plus you're the nephew of Julius Caesar that everyone loved, and people need a leader. People need a leader they like. They need a leader they can trust. They need a leader to look up to, and you are that guy. So you have to stay. And Octavian said, no, I don't really want to be a consul. I don't want to be called a consul. And if I stay on, people will want me to be king. They'll want me to be king, and I know that's wrong. I know no one wants me to be king. I don't want to be called king. And the Senate said, well, we don't have to call you king. We'll just call you first citizen. We'll just say that. That's not king. That means, means you're first, but it doesn't mean you're king. So why don't you just be first citizen, which in their language was Principus, which is where we get the word prince from now. So he kind of was the first prince. Well, he was actually really kind of the first emperor of Rome because they gave him all the power. He didn't say he was king, but he pretty much acted like king. In fact, he was so popular, so loved, that when they were coming up with, they renamed him. They renamed him from Octavian. They named him Augustus. And Augustus means blessed or magnificent. And so they really thought he was an amazing guy. Well, when they decided to make the calendar, they named a month after Augustus. What month do you think that was? Right, August. And they decided to name a month after his uncle, Julius Caesar. What do you think that month is? July, right. So that's how we get August from Augustus and July from Julius Caesar. So when you see those months, you'll remember these two important men, an uncle and a nephew, who built up Rome and made it an amazing place. And they have the calendar names after them. Isn't that crazy? So today, now, both of those men were so loved. They constantly were given awards, right? When people think you've done a good job, you get an award or a medal, right? So I know, like, if you win a race, you get a medal or whatever. And so Julius Caesar got a lot of medals, and Augustus Caesar also got a lot of medals. So I put in there a paper that is kind of a template of a medal. And I want you to decorate it so that it looks like the medal that they would have given Augustus. Okay? Have fun.